I've seen a lot of claims that people are disappointed with the Michigan recruiting class for the 2023 season, just because we didn't get a bunch of five stars or pay a bunch of players with NIL deals um, for like the future. And I get the sentiment is like, well, how are you going to have a good team in the future? But I think there's a lot of like context that we're missing with this. And so if you really think about it, there's the players that are paying these young recruits to go to their programs, and then these recruits are either choosing to go to these losing wealthy programs or SEC powerhouses. And we know the way that this college football structure is built. Okay, the really good, really talented young five-star recruits that go to the powerhouses are gonna succeed. Okay, they're gonna win most years. Most years is gonna be a guy like Joe Burrow or Baker Mayfield or whoever it is who's going to take over the game. And it's going to be very difficult to compete with those players. And they're probably going to win championships. And I'm not going to take anything away. That's going to happen over here with Bama and Georgia. No doubt about it. But then you have these five stars who go to these losing wealthy programs that just were never built to contend for real, like programs like maybe Florida State. And so these players are going to try to win with those programs, and they're not going to. And so, in order to, like, they already got their bag from the school, they're in that situation. They're going to need to look ahead to their future. And where do you want to transfer if you're like a young offensive lineman who isn't getting like to show off his skills at the highest level of college football, or a running back? Like most positions, or just a defensive player in general, would want to come to Michigan to be further developed, have a chance to really win games, and maybe make money through the one more year fund. So, because Michigan is paying players to stay one more year, they're only sending graduated seniors to the NFL draft for the most part. So, while other schools are getting young talent and they're leaving early while they're less developed, Michigan gets players to transfer from their school, either dejected from other contenders because they didn't feel they were properly developed, or players that want to win now will transfer to Michigan, and they will get the more developed four stars. And in a year where there isn't maybe a Joe Burrow, Michigan will have the chance to be that team and step in and win some titles. So, from a long term perspective, I actually think this strategy is better because other schools aren't paying players to stay one more year. So, while other players will get these flashy five-star like pools at the start of their recruitment, once they play a year, that's when you'll see them transfer to Michigan. And the activity with the transfer portal is what's going to lead Michigan in the future to continue to contend. And I think this strategy is brilliant because it's something most schools aren't doing. Keeping their players one more year with a lot of money, and then sending really well developed graduating seniors to the draft. And that is why I think the Michigan NIL strategy is underrated, and people need to stop complaining about these low rated classes when it's not those players that are going to win you a championship. It's those juniors who are well developed and know how to read the defense. Like hopefully JJ is next year, but we'll have to see. I could be wrong on this, but I feel like this is going to work out pretty well for Michigan, and I think other schools might want to consider starting a fund like the one more year. All right, thanks for watching.